Alright, so boom. My office is in a shopping plaza. And in that shopping plaza, you know, most shopping plazas have like a grocery store and all that stuff in different little stores, right? So today, well, this I've seen this, I've noticed this
because this
a little bit more
is...
in the past couple of months. So there are like these young kids. They look maybe about the age of 10 to maybe about 14, I'm gonna say. And they're selling candy. So they go into the store and they buy the candy, and then they turn around and come out and try to sell it to people. I ain't knocking your hustle, babies. I'm not knocking your hustle. Go, by all means, do it. The problem of it is that it's their delivery, right? So I'm trying to teach my yoga class, and my yoga class, like in the way my office is set up, there is like a little space to where you can so I can teach. And so the windows are open, like you can see. It's a shopping plaza, so the windows are exposed. So I'm watching while I'm teaching this class. I'm a little distracted now because I'm watching these kids, and I'm just like, first of all, where are your parents? Okay, where are your parents? Like I said, these kids are between the ages of maybe 10 and 14, they seem. And I'm looking and I'm just like, where are your parents? Do your folks know you out here? My second thing is I'm watching how they're trying to sell. And they're walking, they got their backpacks in front of them with it's half open. They got their hoodies on, their sweatpants, and their slides on. Like, just not presentable enough at all. And I am all for helping the children. Like I said, I respect the hustle of trying to make your money and things like that. You're not technically supposed to be soliciting, right? And that's considered soliciting and loitering. But who am I to not what you're doing? I ain't calling the cops on you. You ain't gotta worry about that. You ain't gotta worry. That's not my business. But I'm watching them, and I'm just like, babies, you gotta work on your delivery. So when they came, when people would come out of the store and everything, they'd be like, you want to buy some candy? Hey, you want to buy some candy? Hey, you want to buy some candy? Now, I don't know if they doing this in like shifts or something, because the kids that were out there before I started my class were different than the kids that were out there when I started my class. So the ones that were there when I started my class, before I started my class, they were like standing in front of the grocery store, and they were like, hey, would you like to buy some? And they were like walking up to people really fast. Now, in this climate, you don't be want to rush nobody like that right now, okay? People on edge, people they already, you know, people who ain't got money, they already irritated and everything, that they got to go and spend all this money in the store for the groceries. Some people don't really have it to spend. And you got somebody coming at you, I don't care what age you are, you got somebody coming at you saying, hey, you want to buy this, you want to buy this? No, back up. First of all, back up. And don't come at me like that. You come at me that fast, how do I know you're not just trying to like do something, right? I don't care how old you are, what color you are, anything like that. Don't come up at me that fast, right? So I'm just like, all right. So the people are like, no, I ain't got it. All I got is a car. I don't have no cash on me. No, please move. And they're like really still trying. It's like they don't have any kind of communication between them. So it's like one kid to do it, and then the people be like, no. And then the next time a kid to come up, and you don't even get to get in the store good enough until they be like, I already asked them, they ain't got it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So that set of kids, they're all, you know, dressed in you know, basketball clothes and stuff like that, like leisure clothes or whatever. They're not dressed up as if they're trying to present themselves as salesmen. But they were a little bit more, you would want to probably like be a little bit more what's the word, I would say, for lack of a better word, helpful for them, because they actually had their candy boxes, like the boxes that they were like actually in the candy boxes, and you can see what you were trying to buy, right? So if I did have it, I would probably have bought something, even though it's the exact same candy they bought inside of the store. I probably would have bought it because at least I could have seen what you were trying to sell. Well, I guess their shift was over, and then now you got 2 other kids that's coming right when I'm starting my class, and they're just walking and pacing up and down. Oh, I forgot to mention that the kids in the front, they had electric bikes. So they're riding their electric bikes up and down the sidewalk of the stores, right? And they're going fast. So I'm like, you already, like, you're putting people in danger when you're doing this. And you're asking if they want to buy something. But you already done irritated these people by putting them in danger by going up and down these sidewalks with your bikes. You know what I'm saying? So that was the other thing that really kind of rubbed me the wrong way with them poor babies. Now the second set of kids, it was just 2 of them, because the first one it was 4. This was 2 of them on this go round, and they had their backpacks in front of them half open. You can't see what's in their backpack. So they got, back in the day we used to wear our backpacks in the front, you know, when we went to school like that. And so that's how they had their backpack. If you're a millennial, you know what I mean. So it had their backpacks in the front, and it was half open, and they have on, like I said, sweatpants. It's hot as hell out here. All right, it's hot as hell out here. We live in the South. It's hot as hell out here, and you got on a hoodie. I ain't never understood. That's all children these days. I don't know why these kids be wearing hoodies and it's 100 degrees outside, but I digress. But no, I don't. These kids got hoodies on and sweatpants and slides and socks, all right? So your presentation is already a little fucked up, right? So and they're just walking, and then somebody comes out of the store, hey, you want to buy some candy? And the people are looking at them like, no, you better hope I don't call the police on you. You know what I'm saying? And so all I want to do, I'm teaching class now, I'm distracted because I'm watching this unfold, and the way that they're yelling back and forth, you don't know, I can't really tell what they're yelling about, but I hear them yelling, and I'm like, why is y'all yelling? These people are running businesses right now, right? So by the time I finished my class, because I had every intention to be like, baby, let's talk about how y'all going about this, right? But I didn't, because by the time I finished class, they had already left. But my problem with that was that, again, where are your parents, first of all? And do your parents, one, know that you're doing this? Because my parents would never have let me do something like that, be out there trying to sell stuff in front of folks' businesses and stuff. They wouldn't let me do that, okay? And if they did, they would have taught me how to present myself in order to do it safely. And so I'm just like, I wanted to tell them babies so bad, hey, first of all, your presentation is shit, okay? That's not gonna work. You look like you're going to, like you're trying to rush people, and you're not even telling them like what's the purpose. At least with the ones that I've seen in the past, when they come in to the store asking if you want to buy something, they say, hey, I am trying to raise money for such and such. I had one little boy come in there one day, and he was dressed presentable, like he had his pants hanging out, and he had his clothes in a presentable manner. He had on leisure clothes, but it still was he was presented differently, right? He was presented a little bit nicer. And I said, well, what's it for? He was like, just so I can make some money. I respected that so much. I'm like, I bet I'm gonna give it to you, because at least you honest, right? At least you're honest about it. But the fact that these kids were going, like I said, they just yelling at people, asking if they want to buy candy, not really giving them a reason, and they just didn't have any kind of decorum about it. And it just makes me sad to think that this is how these new generations are, to where they're out here looking like some dealers, and I don't ever like to stereotype anybody, because I don't care if they're white or black. Either way, it was still very like not right. And so I'm just like, these kids need some kind of, they need a better outlet, at least somewhere, some guidance, to where people like old adults could teach them, hey, if you're gonna do this, set up a table. Ask if you could set up a table or you know, at least take your hoodie off or whatever when you're trying to ask somebody, and stop rushing them. You know, give them time to come out. Like, you know, they go in the store, let them come out the store before you ask and stuff. Like, take a page from the Salvation Army people, like ring the bell or whatever. But you know, it's just so sad to see that these, and then, like I said, they're trying to, clearly they're trying to make money, but the way they're going about it needs some help. And this is where we are in life, where babies out here trying to hustle and make money, but they don't know how to do it in the correct way. And it's sad. What do we do?